after she said a woman with the same name as Gonzalez kidnapped her 2-year-old daughter in 2008 after she was dropped off at an apartment complex in Orlando. In the deposition, Anthony admits she randomly said Gonzalez's name when confronted by investigators just after her daughter's murder. Gonzalez's attorney says to Anthony, "So you have no explanation other than you just happened to blurt out this place that you hadn't been to in 2 years, according to you."
When he visited the Anthony's home, Casey was always smiling and laughing, but never showed any interest in helping look for Kaylee. In fact, Miller says he never heard Casey mention her daughter's name once.
It was her mother who finally called police.
There's something wrong. I found my daughter's car today, and it smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car.
While a desperate search was launched for the little girl, Casey was taken into custody. The 22-year-old insisted she had left her daughter with a nanny, but police have never been able to confirm the story.
She's not far. I know in my heart she's not far. I can feel it.
Kaylee wasn't far. 6 months after she vanished, her body was found less than a mile from her home.
Everyone else has their theories. I don't know.
So your parents had her?
My dad did.
The next thing you know, she's missing, right? How did it play?
I did what I was told. I don't remember too much of what happened.
Anthony was convicted of lying to police, admitting she lied about leaving her daughter with a babysitter and more.
People lie to the cops every day. Cops lie to people every day. I'm just one of the unfortunate idiots who admitted that they lied. I see why I was treated the way that I was, even had I been completely truthful.
3 years later, Anthony went to trial and was found not guilty, but pointed her finger at Kronk. She claimed the Orlando meter reader had something to do with the little girl's death. Kronk filed a lawsuit against Anthony several years ago, but that suit has been tied up as a Tampa bankruptcy judge decides what to do because Anthony is in debt.
During the trial, the complete 911 call was played for the jury.
Why didn't you call 31 days ago? I've been looking for her and have gone through other resources to try to find her, which is stupid.
But I'm still defending the fact that I didn't hurt her.
The new documentary is also generating headlines like this. Casey Anthony blames her father for daughter Kaylee's death. When contacted today by Inside Edition, George said, "I am in contact with an attorney. That's all I can say at this moment."
Today is Saturday, March 1st, 2025. I am a legal advocate. I am a researcher. I've been in the legal field since 2011. And in this capacity, I feel that it's necessary, if I'm going to continue to operate appropriately as a legal advocate, that I start to advocate for myself.
Casey Anthony has been logging onto TikTok, claiming to be some kind of influencer, and it has been absolutely bonkers insane. If you don't know who Casey Anthony is, how do you not know? Have you been living under a rock? And don't worry, we will get into all of that in just a moment.
Karma's a bitch.
Queen of Karma.
Casey Anthony, acquitted in daughter's death, says she's now a legal advocate on TikTok. Casey Anthony, the Florida woman dubbed America's most hated mom after she was accused and acquitted of killing her 2-year-old daughter, has launched a TikTok and a newsletter to reintroduce herself personally and professionally as a legal advocate. Yeah, a legal advocate. Anthony, 38, gained national notoriety after she was accused of killing her daughter, Haley Anthony, in 2008 in a case that attracted a media frenzy, much like the O.J. Simpson trial. Anthony initially told investigators Kaylee had been kidnapped, promoting a massive search for the girl. In 2011, after more than 10 hours of jury deliberations, she was acquitted of murder, but convicted of providing false information to law enforcement. She has since admitted lying to police in multiple interviews. It was a very upsetting case that seemed to touch the hearts of many, many people. A lot of people do still think that she is guilty. And those people also think that she has no business being on TikTok. Allegedly, after the verdict, a USA Today Gallup poll found that about 2/3 or 64% of Americans believed Anthony definitely or probably killed her daughter. Chief Judge Belvin Perry Jr. Perry told Orlando television station WFTV9 in 2017 that he believes Anthony killed her daughter unintentionally. And allegedly, it was by using a drug called chloroform accidentally, giving too much. Casey claims she has no clue what happened to her daughter still to this day and claims that she is innocent. I will leave the link to this down below so that you can read more about it. Anthony said on TikTok that she has worked in the legal field since 2011, though she did not say in exactly what capacity. Of course she didn't. The now-defunct news website, The Messenger, reported in 2023 that Anthony was still working for McKenna and had also started a private investigation business. Anthony directed viewers to her Substack, an online newsletter platform, and said she plans to set up an email address where people can correspond with her directly on a limited basis regarding legal issues. She said she still plans to protect her privacy and will explain in great detail why doing so is important for public and private figures. Can't wait for that. I guess she says, my goal is to continue to help give a voice to people, to give people tools and resources that they can utilize so they can actually know where they can turn to. Thanks for that, baby murderer. So of course I thought that we would take a look at her TikTok and her little website. So the first post is basically that account, and then there is some writing here that we have to read through. There are many fake accounts in my name, in the name of my daughter, or simply to spread hatred, being labeled as a boycott account. I have intentionally limited the public statements that I have made, my exposure to the media, my exposure to the world of social media, as well as we have all grown accustomed. My accounts have only ever been private. Today, my account goes live. Video content will be available by paid subscription. Oh my, you little grifter you. Public service information will be available on my profile here on Substack, and if shared to other accounts, such as Mastodon, the heck is that, or Blue Sky, will be directly linked. I am an advocate and a researcher. You say so, Casey. I have spent the last decade and a half working in that capacity, and now more than ever, people deserve to know what resources they can turn to, and to be reminded that they still have rights. This is my only account posting original content. I have never had a public account before, nor have I interacted with the public on a public forum. What about all those interviews? I welcome you to join me, keep an open mind, and allow me to properly reintroduce myself. My name is Casey Anthony, and I murder children. Sorry, I have to joke to get through this because it's a lot. I can't believe this woman right now. What a riveting first TikTok post, though. Her latest post is a little more interesting.
We're sweat to death. Okay. Today is Saturday, March 1st, 2025. This is my first of probably many recordings on a series that I'm starting. I am a legal advocate. You plan on doing more of these? And here you're saying you're a legal advocate. And then you'll be like, oh, but I'm not giving legal advice. Okay. I am a legal advocate. I am a researcher. I've been in the legal field since 2011. And in this capacity, I feel that it's necessary, if I'm going to continue to operate appropriately as a legal advocate, that I start to advocate for myself and also advocate for my daughter. For those of you who don't know, my name is Casey Anthony. My daughter is Kaylee Anthony. My parents are George and Cindy Anthony. This is not about them. This is not in response to anything that they have said or done. That's not to say that I'm not going to respond at some point to some of the things that they have said and done. The whole point of this is for me to begin to reintroduce myself.
You are such a narcissist to make this about you. If it's about your daughter, then there should be no sticking up for yourself, caring what other people think, coming out here to reintroduce yourself. You would just try to live a quiet life and you would let your daughter rest in peace, not log online and try to be some kind of advocate influencer lady on TikTok. And at our age, girl,
I'm doing this both personally for me, but in a professional capacity. Moving forward, the majority of what you will see will be me speaking in a professional capacity. My goal is to continue to help give a voice to people, to give people tools and resources that they can utilize so they actually know where they can turn to. So with that, please join me on Substack.
Wow. I would never turn to this lady for anything. And if you want my advice at all, not that I'm anyone that should be giving tons of advice or anything, but I would not go to her with anything.
If you have questions, I will set up an email address where we can correspond directly. Up until this point, that has never happened. And it's only going to be on a limited basis regarding legal issues, legal matters. One of the main reasons that I'm doing this, there are people close to me who have been targeted and attacked recently. There are also people close to me who have had some recent things occur. And
is it because you logged on the internet and you were like, I'm going to start advocating, and everyone was like, oh, hell no? Because that's what I mean. You would just go and live a quiet life, would you? Nobody wants legal advice from Casey Anthony.
And when necessary, people needed to step up, myself included. So as a proponent for the LGBTQ community, for our legal community, women's rights, I feel that it's important that I use this platform that was thrust upon me and now look at it as a blessing as opposed to the curse that it has been since 2008. With that, these aren't going to be perfect. They're not going to be edited.
Why don't you just, log off the internet if it's been such a curse? And if you're upset with how people think of you, just, again, go live a quiet life, would you? The nerve of this woman. And I know she's doing this because she knows that there's a whole new generation logging onto TikTok right now. And she's hoping that they don't know who she is. But trust me, everyone is going to make sure that they know who she is. The sad thing is, there might be some people that fall for these manipulation tactics. She has a lot of narcissistic traits. I don't know if she has a diagnosis, but I mean, if anyone ever was a narc, Again, if you're not aware of who she is, please go and read up on her and watch the documentaries and interviews. But she may just be manipulative enough to convince some people that she is innocent. I'm sure that there are people out there that do believe in her innocence. And the last thing we need is a group of people out here fighting for the innocence of Casey Anthony and telling people to get legal advice from her. Lord.
Most of the time they're not going to be short. But I am proverbially standing in the light, embracing this piece.
Not the
still
light.
Going to keep my privacy intact, so you will get very comfortable with my car. And I will explain in great detail why it's so important for people to protect their privacy. It's not just important to public figures, it's even more important to private individuals. And with the current climate in our country especially, it's that much more important, which is why I am utilizing the Substack platform. Yes, I am.
Now, Casey's in the US, in case you don't know.
Advertising this and publishing this on TikTok, possibly also through other meta platforms, but my intention is to separate from that and showcase even more why Substack is such an important resource for people to utilize moving forward. Anyway, I appreciate your time, and we'll see how this goes.
Oh my. Well, I don't think it's going well, because a lot of people are speaking out about her. But so far, those are all the videos that she's posted on TikTok. And she hasn't posted any videos that I can find anywhere else, as of this moment anyway. When you go to the link that she lists on her TikTok page, you are led to this website, her Substack.com at The Real Casey Anthony. Her bio reads, "It has been more than 16 years since my name became a household one. Everyone seems to have an opinion about me and about my life. I am an advocate, a researcher. These are my words. This is my real life. CA." She started this account on February 5th, in which she posted this and said, "We cannot stand by idly by as this atrocity continues. We have to protect the people of this country. We have to fight for our freedom. We have to fight for these programs that help aid Americans. We still have rights. The billionaires are not in control. Thank you, baby murderer." On February 18, she posted, "The University of Virginia simply breaks down the meaning of DEI. We're being told by elected and appointed officials that these programs are divisive, which is blatantly false. Inclusion is the intent and directive." Then she posted, "The Department of Education is under attack, but cannot swiftly be dismantled. The majority of the people in this country are products of our public school system. We need more funding, more resources. The National Education Association is one of those resources." Too bad your daughter never got to get an education, huh? Project 2025, Mandate for Leadership, 922 pages. We've all heard about it. It's time we all read about it. Did you read about it? For some reason, then she posts a meta privacy policy? I don't know what we're doing. But then she says, "Even more importantly, the United States Regional Privacy Notice. From a legal standpoint, this is not legal advice. Read and decide if you feel you are actually protected when using Meta or their partners." Jeez, imagine taking advice from Casey Anthony. Interestingly, on or around February 23rd, she posted a post by Carl Dunn that says, "The internet is making us hate people we don't even know. Log off. Go out. Talk to a real person. The world isn't as divided as they make it seem on screen. Reconnecting a divided world is what I write about every week here, and it's always free, so we can be." I'm just a little upset that Casey Anthony's also free, you know. 6 days ago, she posted, "Being a legal advocate is something incredibly important, not only to me individually and professionally, but for the sake of our current legal climate. There is a constant rush to judgment. The rights of the many are compromised by the elected few. People are not only unaware of their rights, but most of the time, they aren't even aware that they are giving them away so freely without consent. Do you know who you would call today if something catastrophic occurred in your life or in the life of someone you care for?" All right, Casey, we getting a little bit creepy now. Then she posts, "We are living in a time where we are told by political heads of state that we can say and do what we please, and with the help of social media, people tend to act accordingly. Unfortunately, with the current political climate, we are coming to find out that that is simply a facade. Many of us knew this long ago." Yeah, Casey Anthony, you're just so woke. "But more individuals are finding out the hard way. Free speech is not truly free. Having the right to speak your piece does not give you the true privilege to say whatever the fuck you want. Now more than ever, your privacy and your words are not safe. Every single thing that you say can be used against you in a court of law, regardless of your intentions. Intentions in the eye of the law do matter. You don't say. So simply a reminder, what you say matters, and the intention behind the things you say also matters." Oh Lord. "The presumption of innocence is a sacred right afforded to all individuals arrested in this country." He posts 5 days ago. "That is not an option, it is a fact. We are plagued by a rush to judgment before someone even steps foot into a courtroom. Once a verdict is read, however long the process takes, the public must trust that the system worked the way it was intended. You are entitled to your opinions, not your own set of facts. You, as the general public, will never know the full facts of a case. The media will never tell you the full truth. They will tell you what you think and how to feel. Educate yourself. Stop spreading hate. If tomorrow you woke up and were arrested, accused of a crime you didn't commit," Casey, you did commit it. Stop this. "Or someone close to you were to be, wouldn't you want for you/them to be treated fairly and just? It's not that complicated." Fairly and just, you say, huh? 4 days ago, she posted, "For everyone speaking good, bad, or otherwise, heed your words and make sure you are saying something of substance. Here's the law in Florida about threats, libel, and slander, etc. You don't have to be a Florida resident to be charged. jurisdiction is where the crime was committed usually. If it's over the internet and you're saying something hateful, slanderous, libel, threatening, bullying, etc., the recipient party can request the jurisdiction be in the state where they live, not the state where you committed the act. The internet is not a protected place. My next thread, I will be posting the statutes for every one of our 50 states and our territories. Even for those of you saying these things about me, I am still going to continue to do what I said I was going to do, which is advise you of your rights and the law. Again, imagine taking advice from Casey Anthony. It is public record, and if necessary, I will remind you that this is not legal advice, purely public information. You need to educate yourselves before you implicate yourselves. I would say stop the bullshit, but I think that's asking a little too much. Not all of us are committing crimes, Casey Anthony. We all have the same freedom of speech, but the First Amendment does not protect you against these things most of the time. So unsolicited advice, proceed with caution when taking advice from Casey Anthony. And she posts this link. She shares a post from the Women Post Media that discusses reports emerging of mega men groups infiltrating LGBTQ plus communities across all 50 states. So, interesting choice. And then 8 hours ago, at the time of recording this, which is March 8th, 2025, Casey Anthony posted, Substack terms of use. We should all be aware of what the terms of use are for every social media account, as well as the privacy policies. This is why I choose this platform above others. And then of course, posts terms of use. I personally think it's because she'll get kicked off of all the others, but what do I know? And so far, that is everything from her Substack account. Let me know if you want me to update you on this in the future. But she does have 3.6 thousand subscribers, and I hope that they're all people that are watching this like I am, and not people taking her advice or allowing her to influence them in any way, shape, or form. Casey Anthony having a TikTok and claiming to be a legal advocate is laughable at best and dangerous at worst. This is someone who was infamously acquitted of murdering her own daughter, despite a mountain of disturbing evidence and years of public outrage. Now, she wants to position herself as a voice for justice. It's pure audacity. Beyond the irony, the real danger is that people might actually take her seriously. Let's face it, the true crime community is already full of misinformation, and the last thing it needs is Casey Anthony pretending to be a champion for legal ethics. It's not just ridiculous, it's insulting to real advocates and downright reckless for anyone who might fall for her act. Even more disturbing is how she is now attempting to rewrite history by manipulating her audience into believing that what happened to her daughter may have been the result of online dangers. Why else is she speaking out about the dangers of the internet and protecting your privacy? By shifting the narrative away from her own actions and onto the broader topic of internet safety, she plays the victim rather than the person at the center of one of the most infamous child death cases in modern history. This tactic, known as DARVO, which stands for deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender, is a classic tool used by manipulators to deflect blame. She denies her role, attacks those who question her, and positions herself as the misunderstood victim. By exploiting the public's legitimate concerns about online safety, she is attempting to gain credibility and sympathy while subtly rewriting the past. It's a calculated move, designed not just to clean up her image, but to gain influence over an audience that may not be aware of the full extent of her history. Not only that, but it appears she's grifting, trying to make money off of this. And that's what makes her presence on TikTok so dangerous. Because if she can manipulate public perception now, what else is she capable of convincing people to believe? I'll leave you with that. Please do let me know all of your thoughts down below. And be safe out here. You never know who's going to try to influence you. You need to educate yourselves before you implicate yourselves. Thanks for watching. I love all your faces. Bye.
Queen of Karma.